we won't be able to have our rifles against, the many helicopter super stealth drones that the government has.
Yeah.
That we could definitely defend ourselves against with just having some guns.
Right.
Being a 45-year-old, 350-pound man with a handgun, you think that you'd be able to handle when the tanks come rolling through.
Yeah. No, it's going to be I think you mostly just want the guns around to off yourself, so the government can't take you alive.
Yeah, but what they're saying is that it's also the other thing is that it's a distraction, or supposed to be a distraction from certain laws that are being passed.
Because CISPA got passed, and then
it passed the House, but hasn't passed the Senate yet.
But the other thing that they were saying too about what disproves the whole thing is the fact that gun bill didn't get passed. They didn't pass the background check. So it's like, what are you talking about, Alex Jones? It didn't happen. Your fucking worst nightmare didn't happen. They're not taking your fucking guns.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Yes, you have to keep changing your Wikipedia page because everyone's telling everyone that you're 54.
Right, you have to do it.
You
have to do it. Another situation that they think is a conspiracy is, of course, with the drones and all the extra cameras. There's a large push right now with the Bloomberg administration and shit like that to get more drones up in the sky with cameras. And as soon as this happened, that was an immediate response by a lot of people.
At it. Because again, it's
we
like,
need
look
more
at
cameras.
Who benefits, right? If it's a false flag operation, who benefits? It's like, yes, it's an easily exploitable event. It is a thing that's like, I looked at it like last night. We watched live as they arrested the guy, and it looks like the end of Ghostbusters. You have, first of all, just the idea of, I feel like they're getting us used to the image of tanks rolling through American cities. Like, you look at all this footage of just tanks rolling through Boston, officers climbing fences up in your people's backyards with sniper rifles, doing all this stuff, and then and then in the end, once it's all done, they have all of this it looks pre-edited shots of the tanks rolling through the city with the people of Boston applauding and loving it and partying, and it's just all these drunk dudes drinking beers and go "Wow, USA!" doing this thing, and it's a propaganda film.
It's a trashier moment than a Chavez situation when he would roll through the streets of Venezuela, but everyone in Boston is just tanked. I thought the reaction after they caught him was kind of weird.
Yeah,
the whole thing reached the high fucking heaven.
Here's another thing that I noticed. I watched. I was switching. I had yesterday off, so I was switching between Fox News, MSNBC, and CNN all day long, just kind of cycling through them, seeing what the different perspectives were, and they would start to run interviews with people who knew these guys, not just from family members, but also people who went to college with them, people who went to high school with them, and the people would kept starting off and saying you know what, he was a great guy. He was he was trained to be a nurse, he was a med student.
Yeah, but then you hear the same thing with Jeffrey Dahmer's neighbor was just
not true.
He's so quiet and nice. Yeah,
I think Dahmer's neighbors were all terrified of him. That's why he's my favorite serial killer, because everyone's super creepy. Definitely thought he was eating small Thai guys. I just had no proof.
But as soon as they started getting into that, the news channels kept cutting it off. They would just be but not cutting it off to say anything new or cutting it off because there was breaking news, just cutting off and going back to the same bullshit as before. I'm not saying there's anything behind it. I'm just saying it was weird. It gave me the news media's whole coverage of it. This whole thing just
the whole
thing just gives me a fucking icky feeling.
CNN was also very cautious because after that rape case that happened, I think it was in Ohio or whatever, where those two guys got convicted for raping that girl. They had all these correspondents on being those boys' lives are ruined. Yeah. I can't believe it. So I think CNN was we can't be the pro-rape, pro-terrorist news network. So if they say anything nice about him, we got to cut it off.
But then again, what's his name? Jahar, his fucking older brother was being pimped by the FBI as well. It's the same thing we were talking about.
Well, they've been on the watch list for a couple of years now.
Yeah, but he was kind of semi-goaded into doing something along these lines. They said that, again, he jumped off the storyline and then made this thing happen. But it was 49 of 150 botched terrorism cases since 9/11 has happened have all been FBI led. They train the guys. They give the guys dummy C4, give them dummy bomb jackets and shit, and then they send him out, and then they arrest him, and then it's a big fucking cameras everywhere, because that's what it looked like. The end, watching it live, watching them arrest him live, the fucking ceremonial thing of the ambulance, they had kept the ambulance away, and they're holding off the ambulance, and so they know for sure that there's a conclusion to the event, and they're and here comes the ambulance.
Here it is. Geraldo Rivera's there opening up a safe.
It's all fucking choreographed, and then you've got that, and then
you get the feeling there's some FBI guys right before the marathon started, so you gave them all the fake bombs, right? Yeah, absolutely. Let me just unzip the bag, and he looks at Shit.
Oh,
this
no.
one's got all the fluffy toys in it. I think we gave him the. No.
It's called the Great Boston Switcheroo of 2013.
Oh man, if all the pound puppies are in this pressure cooker.
It's hard for me.
That's an old reference.
I like it though.
It's truly very hard for me to not find a comical edge to it, but it's like I look at this whole thing and it makes me sick to my fucking stomach.
Yeah, me too.
Between what the news agencies were doing, with the response of various comedians on Twitter, everyone's so self-righteous and full of shit. The whole thing became a gigantic media event, and I know that that's like what. The way things are going right now, and that's what it's supposed to be, but it was like we were joking the other day, but imagine if they had fucking Instagram during 9/11.
Totally agree
Like
with
if they had Instagram and Twitter during 9/11 and they were like taking pictures and tweeting about fucking 9/11, it would have been disgusting.
We were a Janet Jackson nipple slip away from this being a halftime show. I mean, Madonna might as well have been slowly climbing up some bleachers because
everybody
it was
loved it way too fucking much.
That was the thing. And after they caught him, everyone's like, "We're getting hammered." It's like the tragedy still happened, but they're like, "But we got one more dead," which is that makes it an even 4, which is awesome. I guess there was 5 because there was another cop who got killed, and we're going on 6. So as soon as the death count got to a proper number, and we got a couple of the bad guys, it was absolutely thrilling.
At this point, it's like when you look at the various conspiracies like wrapped into this. I could see why people get really crazy about Aurora and Sandy Hook, and and I really do believe that there is.
Is there somebody with the name Sandy Hook?
I'm sure.
There has to be.
That's a bad name at that time.
Yeah.
But the idea
well,
is
last year was just bad for people named Sandy in general.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, definitely.
You gotta change it.
But I can understand why the MK Ultra hangover. I'm starting to really believe in this idea that like what happened with like the in the 50s and the 60s when they decided to start fucking with the human consciousness in order to create military tools. I think that it's stuck. I think it's a thing that they continue to use. I think it's a thing that bled into our fucking pharmaceutical problem we've got in this country. Like the idea of like giving some of these people like drugs who don't need it. And this is just an example of. I don't know what happened. I don't think it was a conspiracy. I don't think it was a false flag incident. I don't think the government made the Boston Marathon bombing happen, but I do think that they used it in a way that was really fucking convenient.
There's one thing the government is good at. It is opportunism.
Yeah.
Like seeing immediately when something happens, like, okay, how can we spin this to our advantage? It seems like they have a list of shit that they want to do, and they're just waiting for certain
to fit the parameters.
To fit like the parameters. Like, okay, now that this has happened,
I will say, man, that is a checklist that I want to see.
Oh,
I want to see the government blow up the Boston Marathon. Check. That's great.
Absolutely.
What's gonna
destroy all circuses.
I'm just wondering what's going to have to happen for us to just get Hamburger Tuesday.
I just want Hamburger Tuesday.
That's all I want.
Why
can't they just do something good for us?
We need to, because we have Hurricane Sandy during a marathon.
The thing is, what it shows
during a marathon. If people got exploded at a football game, we had 2 dead football players out there. The NFL would be canceled.
And it also shows that fat people are safe every time.
That's right.
Because you stay in your house
with a pressure cooker. That's like that's our friend.
I make a pot roast in that.
That's exactly right.
Every time I get a pressure cooker in order to make a bomb, I just put food in it.
Mm-hmm. That would have been such a
just
nice
can't help
bomb.
yourself.
That's actually how Henry eats. He just like puts it in there and then he waits until it explodes and he licks it off the walls.
What they need to have is an FBI agent named like FBI Agent Boyardee who goes in there and tells them, it's like, oh, you have the pressure cooker, huh? Make raviolis.
That's nice. I was thinking about putting some nails and thumbtacks in there.
But this is not the only thing that we're talking about today. Basically,
no, but I do want to say this though too. Shout out to whoever won the Boston Marathon because he's the ultimate victim.
No one remembers.
No one will ever know the winner
God,
of the Boston Marathon, the year of the terrorist attack.
But I was hoping to go into even more conspiracy theory stuff, and as I started researching, I just felt like in the end, it's not a conspiracy. It's just a horrible event that's now being ridden till it's fucking dead.
However, we do have some weird shit to talk about.
This is
outside of the Boston Marathon is only one small tiny piece of what April 15th to April 20th means in American history.
This is a fucking ooky spooky week, and it's been this way for a long time. There's things that we already know about. There's we remember Columbine, Hitler's first birthday party, which I heard no one came to.
That wasn't very nice.
The first thing that made him sad.
However, his 50th birthday was declared a national holiday in Germany.
I bet. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's actually there's a very funny comedian's joke, and I rarely do jokes here, but he talks about how people say if I had a chance to go back in time, I'd kill Hitler when he was a kid. But you imagine if that was true and his entire childhood, like Jewish people were just trying to kill
Hitler,
which
yeah.
causes a Holocaust.
But basically we're going to talk about the Uku Spooky events all about the third week of April.
And this is an
it's a bad time.
astrological
And
situation.
Yes, that's a clue into it. And the idea
Okay.
of like what are some of the astrological symbols behind this week. My birthday's May 1st, so I guess I'm in the clear.
Ah, he's a Leo.
Yeah.
Leo.
Taurus.
Is that a Taurus?
Yeah.
Oh.
You can tell because I'm stubborn
size of a car.
and I also enjoy you fucking insult me.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, speaking of that, thank you for pulling Family Guy and that other stupid fucking show because that's going to stop a next terrorist attack. That was the.
Oh yeah.
I hate
no,
it.
but that's another conspiracy theory. That's totally fake. That's totally fake. I know
they
shit
cut
together.
that together,
Yeah.
but that's like I hate it when TV programs are just like, we're doing our duty, we're gonna cut this program for a week. It's like, no, shut the
It's
fuck up.
weird the conspiracies with cartoons because do you remember the Simpsons conspiracy
No, with what?
with 9/11? On September 10th, 2001, they showed in syndication the Simpsons episode in which Homer gets his car stuck in between the World Trade Center. And there's these weird little tiny clues to 9/11 within that episode.
So
Zionism.
Matt Groening made 9/11 happen.
He did. He was a part of the problem.
He was trying to... No, that's what it is. He was trying to warn us.
Oh, thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Go. I'll say that
graining-
for the country. The whole country's first reaction to 9/11. Go.
I'm gonna need a donut. Okay, so let's get into this. 15th to the 20th of April. What bizarre
A lot of
series of
creepy shit
coincidences
has happened. Oh, by the way, speaking of Family Guy, watch Your Pretty Face is Going to Hell on Adult Swim Thursdays at midnight.
That's a real quick plug. We had a wonderful time on Thursday night.
Hail Satan!
Hail Satan!
Hail
It
Satan!
really is. We did a lot of esoteric magic on and off set. There's a lot
Yeah.
of weird symbols like we put all over in the sets. I don't know if you could see them. And when I fucking smoking sweet herb, all painted up as a devil, and I saw my fucking future. Hail Satan! Everybody see the show.
Hail Satan! Your Pretty Face is Going to Hell midnights and Thursday on Adult Swim.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so what's going on here? April 15th through the 20th.
All right. What we're going to start with is on April 19th.
Okay.
The shot heard round the world. What some could argue is the birth of America.
This is when John Starks was playing the Houston
No,
Rockets.
no,
in
no,
Game
no, no,
5.
no,
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 no, no,
no,
no,
Okay,
no.
no, not.
We know
no.
nothing about the Knicks.
Okay, good.
This is when the war between America and Britain officially starts with the battles of Lexington and Concord.
Okay.
This is when it officially all begins. So it could be argued that this is the birth of America, making America an Aries.
Ooh,
Yeah.
aggressive.
Abort it.
But also very, like emotionally evocative and highly sexual.
Oh, absolutely. So America,
What is Aries? Is that
Aries-
what Aries is? Highly emotion?
It's,
it really
it's
is
very,
America.
It's very aggressive.
It's
It's
the
very
ram.
intense. It's the ram.
yeah.
The Taurus, like I was saying, is stubborn and a lover of creature comforts.
Like the car. Henry Zabrowski is as big as a Ford Taurus. There's a Ford Taurus, it's a car. And obviously humans aren't supposed to be the size of cars, and they weigh, but,
Your pretty face is going to hell Thursdays on Adult Swim. at
midnight.
So
Check that
Aries is the ruling planet of Aries is Mars.
Okay.
Mars is the
God
god
of
of
war.
war.
Cool.
The dark side of America, as far as Aries goes, selfish and quick-tempered, impulsive and impatient,
Afghanistan.
foolhardy and a bit of a daredevil.
All
Hot
right.
dogs.
Yeah, indeed. Showboats.
And here's
Bo
another
Jacksons.
funny thing. Hitler is also an Aries, but what an Aries is called, an Aryan.
Ooh. I guess it makes sense.
So let's go through some of the events starting from
I
April
guess
15th.
we didn't like black people during Hurricane Katrina.
Think about that.
Yeah, that
That's
does
harp.
make sense.
That's harp.
So now we're going to go through some of the
That was
horrible...
actually, I was just having a conversation with Wolf Blitzer about Wolf Blitzer with CNN.
What?
No, not with, about him. And during Hurricane Sandy, he had a quote where he says, "So much poor, so much sad, so many black." That was his quote, which is very, very funny when he was looking at the Superdome. Anyway, continue on.
Wolf Blitzer?
Wolf
Was
Blitzer.
it a werewolf? I don't think a Wolf Blitzer belongs on Last Podcast to the Left.
Yeah.
Save it for Top Hat.
Yes, sir.
All right, let's go. All right.
So April
Ford Taurus, which is, of course, a car. All right. It's kind of funny, though.
So April
Huffing it with Biff and Stew on my damn channel.
April 15th, 1846. The Donner Party sets off from Springfield, Illinois for California.
And the first thing, little Jamie Donner was just like, Dad, I'm hungry. And he's just like, just wait. Just wait.
There'll be food on the other side.
1865, Abraham Lincoln dies.
Boom. What day is that?
April 15th, 1865.
Wow, all
He was
right.
shot on the 14th and he died on the 15th.
He
1912.
was the John Lennon of the 1800s.
He really was.
What, can we go back to the Donner family really quick? Why are they? They just ate a bunch of people, right?
Yeah,
No,
they
they ate
themselves.
each other. Yeah,
They ate each other.
yeah.
And for-
In
what
the
was
Colorado
reason?
in the Colorado mountains, they
Because
got
they got
lost.
stuck.
Yeah, they got
Okay.
snowbound, and so they ate each other.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
19,
And there was just big Herbert Dahmers just sitting in the back, and
Yeah.
he's just like eating fucking sweets and sucking on ham hocks, and he's just like, Daddy, I just hope that nothing bad happens on the trip. Oh, me too, son. Me too.
Keep on eating.
Oh, just rub yourself with this butter.
and by the way, I looked through all the like great days or important dates in history from April 15th to April 20th. All of this stuff is American.
Okay.
Like all of this stuff happened to Americans. The rest of the world does pretty good in these times.
Well,
and
we
on
started
April
off on a bad
14th
foot in the first place.
Yeah.
We fucking killed the Earth's first hippies. We killed all of them, and then just took the place. It started bad. America's got a problem. It's human beings just have a problem, as we were saying before. It's like the problem isn't guns and bombs. It's us.
It's us. It's all
you know?
us.
And the cats and the dogs and the giraffes and the lions are going to be much happier when we're gone.
April. See, that's the thing. You check it out. April 14th, nothing happens.
Okay.
April 21st, back to normal. April 20. I checked up until like the 23rd.
Yeah.
Totally fine. But April 15th to April 20th, that's when shit goes bad. April 15th, 1912, fucking Titanic goes down.
Oh.
I mean,
100
that just made a great movie.
1,502 people dead, 119 Americans dead. 1927.
119 people died, huh? Isn't that sad?
1927, the Great Mississippi Flood, the most destructive river flood in U.S. history. 246 people in 7 states die. 1935, the
7
Black
states had that flood?
Yeah, 7
Wow.
states. 1935, the Black Sunday storm, the worst dust storm in the entire Dust Bowl. I've read extensively on the Dust Bowl, and especially this one. And this one is weird because for the longest time, the Dust Bowl was, I mean, it would just be constant dust storms all the time. People was getting the dust pneumonia. They were drowning in their own sand, essentially.
Yeah.
And on Black Sunday, shit had finally calmed down. People were thinking like, oh shit, maybe it's over. Let's go out. Let's go enjoy outside.
That's a sight.
Every time.
And then I read one eyewitness account of these people. They were going out to have a picnic, and they just saw off in the distance just this black wall coming towards them. And it had a top. You could see the top of it. But this entire black wall just coming towards them. And let's see here. It displaced 300 million tons of topsoil.
Wow.
In the prairie area.
you're in
Woody
the-
Guthrie wrote a song about it. On the
What's- is it
14th day of April in 1935, there struck the worst of dust storms that ever filled the sky. You could
love
see
Woody.
that dust storm coming. The cloud looked dead
Did
like
he
black.
even
And
once
on-
write about pussy?
No. He never saw one. Never saw one. That's the thing. He's just an encyclopedia of information. Great stories.
I mean, not many. I don't think anyone died during that storm, but still, it was just a horrible day.
If you're in the
Yeah.
paint stripping business, that's not so bad.
Yeah.
No,
Oh,
no
not at all.
work for a little while.
No, if you're in the dust gathering business,
Oh, that's great. It's
just
good
get a
day.
basket. Oh, it's free merchandise day. If you're dust, you get a bunch of bags of dust. Thank you, Claymore. If you could please go back to your hut. This is a dangerous dust storm.
1955, McDonald's opens its first restaurant.
Oh,
That is a-
that's not so bad.
Yeah, you get it. You get it. You get what I'm making I'm making a point here. It's a statement. It's
I like it.
It's like a political say, like it's destroying America.
Yeah. With the obesity.
yeah.
Oh my God, Ford Taurus. Do you think that there's somebody with this dust bowl? So like some town just like had some dust, and then they woke up, and then there was no more dust. Did they have to where'd our dust go?
Yeah, exactly.
They're like,
Yeah,
it went to Texas.
It's called National Maid's Day Off.
I mean, it would take me quite a while to explain the geographical and ecological reasons behind the Dust Bowl.
You know what? We got into it.
Let's just say we got it. My ancestors went through it, so I read a lot about it. It's very interesting if you're interested in that.
You know
sort
what?
of thing.
I love that McDonald's joke.
Dust subjects. That's why
we have a new podcast all about dust and dust-related issues.
Yeah.
It is called Abe Vigoda's fucking library.
Yeah, Abe Vigoda's library.
And then 2013 is the Boston Marathon bombing.
Okay.
Let's move on to April 16th. 1947, the Texas City disaster, which is not well known. It is the worst industrial disaster in United States history. 581 people died when a tanker pulled into Texas City, which is a port in the Gulf of Texas. It pulled in with on board, it had small arms ammunition, machinery, bales of twine, ammonium nitrate.
Bales of twine. Oh, this business is going to be huge.
The bales of twine does play into it quite a bit. And ammonium nitrate, which is, of course, used in blasting caps and fertilizer.
And then several boxes of just dry brush.
Yeah.
And then the lighter shipment was on there. And
just throw anything that can catch on fire on the same shipment. We're theming it here.
So these there were men that were loading these big bags of ammonium nitrate onto the ship. And
our job is dangerous.
I tell you, I just know that as soon as I'm done with today's work, I'm going to get Sarah Beth to marry me.
I think she's going to love you forever
I think
and
so.
ever.
I think we're going to spend the...
God damn it!
Yep. Around 8 a.m., smoke was reported coming out of the cargo hold. Over the next hour, attempts to put out the fire or put it under control failed.
Spit on it.
Red glow
More
returned
chewing
after
tobacco.
each.
Pour some shoe polish on it.
Oh, no, that's flammable now. Oh, no.
Yep. After 9 a.m., the captain ordered his men to steam the hold. Meanwhile, the fire had attracted a crowd of spectators along the shoreline.
Only in Texas. The first Kardashians.
They believed that they were a safe distance away. Spectators noted that the water around the dock ship was boiling from the heat, and the splashing water touched the hull of the ship, was vaporized into steam. 9:12 a.m., the ammonium nitrate reached an explosive threshold, and the actual explosion was the size of a small nuclear bomb. It was the largest explosion on American soil. Nearly 1,000 buildings on land were leveled.
Whoa.
It destroyed the Monsanto Chemical Company plant.
Apparently, that was the thing, is they contained it, but when Al Roker shit his pants at the White House, it was almost that level as well.
It ignited refineries and chemical tanks all along the waterfront. The bales of burning twine added to the damage because it was flown out into the city, and that actually set more buildings on fire.
Never thought
10
twine
miles
would
away,
be so dangerous. You'd think that's the safest thing on the boat.
Yeah, you would think so. It probably was at some point.
10 miles away, people in Galveston were forced to their knees. Windows were shattered in Houston, 40 miles away, and people felt the shock 100 miles away in Louisiana.
That also reminds me, and then this week we also had the explosion in West Texas of the fertilizer plant, which is, again, we're also finding a massive weird set of coincidences using with poo-poo explosions.
Yeah, a lot of poo-poo.
Which is very big. It's a poo-poo problem in this country.
I know it.
And there's some footage that I saw that is totally real. That's fucking just evidence that a missile was fired into it that made it explode.
And that happened on April 17th.
Yes.
And on April 16th, 1990, Jack Kevorkian participates in his first assisted suicide.
Oh, but that's normal.
fine.
That's fine.
That was his job.
But then in 2007, the Virginia Tech massacre, the largest shooting spree in American history, 32 people dead.
Highest game score. You know,
Yeah.
he's got that thing at the very top of the fucking arcade game.
Seems
really
like mostly
is.
a Texas problem.
Yeah, it's a big Texas problem.
Yeah.
April 17th, of course, the fertilizer plant in West Texas. Also, the Bay of Pigs invasion begins. And the Bay of Pigs invasion begins and ends within this 5-day period.
Okay.
Which also, very interesting. That's very interesting. My grandfather knew a lot of information about that because he was head of travel for Pepsi during the time. And PepsiCo was one of the main funders of the Bay of Pigs invasion because it was done outside of the government's influence.
Exactly. It was Cuban exiles. A whole big embarrassment for the country.
Right. I'm sorry, but I just have to say, like, I just pictured the Zabrowski family on a beach. You know, just like, what do you call
Your
that?
pretty face is going to hell.
Yeah, that's what you
That's,
call a
Thursday.
park.
Swim.
It's a
Zabrowski's
pond, yeah.
on the beach. It's a big.
real-
It's what we call a parking lot.
Yeah, that's the real Bay of Pigs, you know?
This is great.
You know, fun.
yeah.
This
Meme
is
it.
great.
You know?
See, I still think of just a restaurant when I think of Bay of Pigs. I'm just like, oh, give me that bacon, give me that sausage.
Sausage.
April
That's
18th.
sucking a pig's dick
Whoa,
to
whoa.
get that bacon taste.
Whoa, man.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Just show me a pig. I know how to make a pig smile.
Then April 18th, 1880. This is a smaller one. An F4 tornado struck Marshfield, Missouri, killed 99 people, injured 100. And in 1983, that was when the suicide bomber destroyed the U.S. Embassy in Beirut, in Lebanon, killing 63 people, which is a pretty big event in America's involvement with the Middle East, which builds on to our later wars. Big shit. April 19th is another huge day.
Yeah, because that was Osama bin Laden's his first credit.
Yeah,
that was his Letterman appearance.
His debut.
That was his adult. That was his Your Pretty Face is
Your
going
pretty
to
face
hell.
going to hell.
April 9th.
Don't swim Thursdays at midnight.
April
Osama bin Laden.
April 19th, both Waco and Oklahoma City, 2 years apart, and also the day that Charles Manson was sentenced to death.
Wow.
Yeah, but then he shaked it.
Yeah, he totally shook that off, which is a
God.
victory for
is
America.
Manson still on death row?
Yeah, he's just sitting in a square. He's just sitting in a box.
But is he technically on death row?
no.
No.
Okay.
He still gets they cart him out for parole hearings every 7 to 10 years.
Man, that's
He just did another one. They were like, no, and he shows up going like, I'm a tarantula, and they're like, okay, we know you're a fucking tarantula. It's like, and then those papers telling me I got a poo poo in a bucket.
You do
You're
have
like,
to poo-poo
okay,
in the
yeah,
bucket.
poo poo in the bucket. Thank you so much. All right.
Yeah. I think we're going to let him go this time. Yeah. You know?
Here's an interesting thing about it is because the days between April 15th and April 20th, the 16th through the 19th, those are the bad shit happens, but they're not quite as concentrated as the first and last days. April 20th, because I fucking knew when I was researching this. I combed through birthdays, I combed through everything, trying to find some sort of serial killer connection.
Yeah.
And I fucking found it.
Yeah.
April 20th, 1836, U.S. Congress passes an act creating the Wisconsin Territory.
Oh, so they
thank
made it.
you.
Yeah, it's like the exactly. It's the dirt breaking ceremony
that
for
the-
all serial killers.
Is that the worst thing that happened through these 5 days
Yeah.
throughout history?
Oh,
It was
God,
actually
no.
they had originally wanted to
Probably.
call it Cholesterol Junction.
Ah, yeah.
But then they knew, oh, no, let's not immediately doom them. And then all the dudes that were trucking in there was just like, which one's a cow? Which one's the mother?
Yeah.
I'm not really sure.
Well, you can have your way with either.
1914 is the Ludlow Massacre during a Colorado coal miner strike in which the police opened a machine gun fire upon a crowd, killing 19 men, women, and children.
Damn.
Just mowed them down.
Wow.
And it was, I believe that was ordered by Rockefeller. 1999, you got Columbine.
Illuminati. Reptilian family bloodline.
yes.
Again, that's where it comes back. Black nobility.
Alien butt probes, everybody.
Black nobility. That's the name of the royal families in Britain that became part of the reptilian elite.
There you go. 1999.
No one believes me.
There you go. That's my stock
It is-
response to
this
everything.
is what people do. This is what
Right.
it comes down to. Yes, I sound crazy.
Sure.
But sometimes the truth is more strange than fiction, right? And then
Yes.
also, it's so easy to ridicule that which you are afraid of.
Yes.
And so I understand, yes, ridicule me, laugh at me.
Okay.
But I will prevail when I see the reptilian ships coming down with Kronos and Blogdor.
Blogdor is going to be there.
Revealing Barack Obama as his skin separates, and you see he's a giant Gila monster, and he rapes Hillary Clinton.
What? Is she a reptile too?
No. A hapless woman. A deeply vulnerable woman, as they all are.
All right, 1999 Columbine happens.
Boom.
Yes.
I remember that.
2000,
Yeah, it smells like Teen Spirit, a fucking school shooting.
Oh, yeah.
2010, the Deepwater Horizon drilling rig explodes. The BP oil spill.
right.
Okay.
Yeah, killing 11 people. The oil spill lasted 6 months and made
remember that.
extinct the Louisiana pancake batfish.
Oh, the pancake batfish is gone?
No longer exists.
Which is the problem is that it already affected the ecology there because it ruined their brunches.
Yeah, that's
all of
the
their
major
undersea
problem.
brunches. They're like, how will we do it without the pancake
Why do
fish?
we even have the syrup fish around? There's no pancake fish.
And he's just like, I'm so full of syrup because nobody gonna milk me.
I mean, he's got to get milked.
Let me get down there.
Yeah, you love it. Sucking on all the syrup fish. They're losing all the weight.
And of course, the big thing on April 20th, Hitler's birthday, April 20th, 1889.
Hitler, we are so happy that it is your birthday. You know, it's just like, I want a hot dog.
Immediately wanted a hot
Whatever
dog.
he wants, whatever he likes, it is his birthday. We've made a new prison for you, Hitler. It's not small enough. He wants the smaller prisons and eradicate it. It's a hard day.
Both Hitler and George W. Bush like painting.
And also, according to 4chan right now, on a search through this morning, there is a worldwide, there is a citywide drill going on in San Francisco right now that's going on throughout the day, and they are pretty certain because it also lays upon one of the major faults on the Earth that could be construed as a ley line, which we talked about before, the energy grid, that most important points that are like temples, the pyramids, and various churches are all built on these certain cruxes in the energy
The
grid.
Bottom Door, which is a great gay bar in San Francisco.
Yes. And so right now we're just kind of waiting to see if something's going to happen there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I think
Nothing
begin
is
to
happening.
wait. Let's begin to
Okay.
wait.
Yeah, I've checked. Nothing yet.
Is something happening?
Is something. Just do a quick Google.
Is
Yo,
something
no,
happened?
I did.
Let's see here. Maybe
Let's
San
keep waiting.
Francisco is going in.
I want to break
the-
this news on the podcast.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's
Let's see.
refresh.
And maybe.
Has
Or
something happened?
Are there people walking around without shirts on? That's a sign that something might go down very
CNN
soon.
Duck.
If you mean like a limbo contest.
Yeah.
God, that's so fun.
I can't limbo for
Not
shit.
CNN.
San Fran sounds great.
San Fran's a wonderful place.
Fox News, they're better at it.
Is there something going on the Haight Ashbury?
A lot of Starbucks. Probably one just got built there again.
Picture of Lindsey Graham.
Oh, Lindsey Graham. Think about that. Got a
She
guy
got
and a
flowers
girl's
in
name.
her hair.
All right. Well, it seems like nothing.
Wait. No.
Nothing
okay,
happened.
okay,
God
nothing's happened.
damn it. Nothing happening
Man,
just
4chan.
yet.
But it's then the other thing, and then we also had someone actually, and I'm pretty certain that story, the first time I saw it was on our last podcast Facebook page.
Yeah.
Was when someone posted that a man on 4chan had threatened to shoot up a bunch of people
Yeah.
at a mall, and then he did it.
He did it. Yeah.
4chan is. There's something to it. There's definitely like the unconscious of the internet. People are throwing information all on 4chan. I watch it now all the time to kind of see. It's like InfoWars apparently uses it as
They
its main
definitely do.
fucking information source. So like,
I like
all right.
it.
It's great. It's fun.
yeah.
I mean, even though they're kind of. Did you guys see the weirdo in the robe?
No.
There was one guy that they just 4chan kept just pointing at. He's just this fucking weird, about the size of Kissel,
Oh, okay.
wearing a brown robe and
Nice.
carrying a backpack
Was
on
it
his
Kissel?
arms.
That
No,
sounds
no,
like
no, no,
oh yeah,
no.
that guy, the
Yeah.
really strange dude.
Yeah.
He just looked like he was just
Out of it.
out of it. Out of it. He was just drunk watching the marathon.
That's amazing.
Had a beard.
Ah. All right. Well, I guess that wraps up this episode. A lot of conspiracy theory talk.
If something happens today, then I mean, we won't talk about it till next week. But be vigilant.
That's
if
right.
you're in the San Francisco area, just look out for anything like super suspicious, like a man dressed as a woman with a big rainbow wig on,
That's
rolling
a
down the
terrorist.
street and with fucking roller skates on, giving you like free condoms. That's a big thing. That's a
Call-
red flag.
Calling himself Molly. He's
I'm not-
selling drugs.
Yes, absolutely. There's another thing. Yes, in San Francisco, if you see a man dressed up as a clown selling ice cream out of a fucking store,
Not
you get
ice
a bunch
cream.
of 90-year-olds all sitting to go buy an ice cream, and they're eating ice cream. They're acting like it's flying. They're
Sure.
all like laughing and like smoking weed because it's 420 in San Francisco, and everyone's having a good time. It's a red flag.
That's a red flag. That's a red flag. I totally agree.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's Marcus Henry Zabrowski. I am Ben.
Be vigilant.
Be
Protect
vigilant.
America.
Be aware.
Hail Satan.
Hail Satan.
Hail Geen.
I think Satan's the only one who can help us at this point.
Oh, absolutely.
Because God ain't doing bullshit.
Yeah, I'm
You
wearing
know,
my,
I think
I'm wearing a
Mahomes.
Satan shirt right now.
Oh yeah, I'm wearing my Satan body.
I mean, you.
My body made for, by, and for Satan. For Satan, by Satan.
All right. Hail yourselves and check out.
Your pretty face is going to hell on
It's
Adult
Thursdays
Swim.
at midnight.
Thursdays at midnight and Huffing It with Biff and Stu.
Yeah.
My name channel. Yeah.
I was on the last episode.
Tolish Joe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was my parents won't talk to me.
How to stop such a close relationship.
Oh yeah, you don't want to have it with your parents.
I was sick of them.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I just don't. I just.
Cut him out, buddy. That's what I do. I don't talk to a single fucking person.
I
When
miss-
I'm not here,
Uh-huh.
I'm sitting in silence.
I think that's true.
Oh, yeah. Hail me!
All right.
Okay.
Magustalations.
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 everybody. We will talk to you soon.